Welcome everybody to the Wrestling Real YouTube channel. I'm Chad Burdine.
And I'm Chris Williams. Tag in with us every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central on FoxSportsShows.com. Also, you can check out our Fox Sports Shows app in your app store.
And on this channel, you'll have access to our past interviews with WWE Hall of Famers and past legends such as the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and WWE superstar Enzo Amore.
How you doing?
And many, many, many more. So please subscribe to our channels, like our videos, and pass it on, man. Because this is the Wrestling Real, because it's still real to us. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Wrestling Reel here on 97.9 FM and AM 1340, where we bring you the show's area-only pro wrestling coverage and news that you can depend on. And as you know, here on the Wrestling Reel, we have been incredibly and humbly fortunate to be able to interview some, several wrestlers and Hall of Famers. And today, ladies and gentlemen, is another one of those special days in life where you just get to talk to one of your favorite childhood and iconic figures in pro wrestling history. And today we've got a former NWA National Heavyweight Champion, an NWA United States Champion. He's a two-time NWA Tag Team Champion with Ivan Koloff. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Reel today on Fox Sports Shows, NWA Hall of Famer, the Russian Nightmare, Mr. Nikita Koloff. Good morning and welcome to the show, sir. How you doing today?
Well, good morning, Chad. I appreciate that introduction. Can I take you on the road with me?
I'd love to. That'd be an honor. I would love to just be a spokesperson for you. That would be a fun gig for sure.
Well, that's honor to all the wrestling fans out there. There you go. Good morning.
I love it. And thank you so much for taking time today to talk to us. And we're very fortunate to have you on the line with us today. But we're very excited because we're actually going to be graced with your presence here in the area at Launch Point this coming Sunday, October 30th, where you'll be doing a couple of sessions at 8 a.m. and then I think 10:30 as well. And I was just going to see if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm always excited anytime I get to share the good news, share the gospel of Jesus Christ. You know, I had actually just last week celebrated my 23rd birthday. Now everyone's going, wait a minute, he's older than 23. Well, speaking when Jesus said, you must be born again. So, of course, that's what I'm referencing. I had my spiritual birthday last week and celebrated that. And
congratulations.
And because of that, yeah, thank you. Because of that decision, 23 years ago, surrendering my life to Christ after I left wrestling, just about a little less than a year after I left wrestling, it set me on a path that never in a million years would I ever dreamed I'd be traveling around the world, 28 different countries now, sharing the gospel of Jesus and the transformation of my life and since surrendering my heart to Him. And so that's what's bringing me to the area on October 30th.
And they're billing that day as Mega Day. It's going to be Mega Day at Launch Point Church on Sunday, October 30th, and there will be a meet and greet as well, but they will be doing a tailgate party and a chance to listen to the life-changing story of none other than yourself, Mr. Nikita Koloff. And again, I just think it's amazing because I myself I'm not even ashamed to say it here on air, but I am a born-again Christian as well. And it's so awesome because about this time, I think a couple of years ago, the Total Package Lex Luger was there as well. I don't know, you guys are very close as well, and it was very awesome to hear his testimony. And I'm so stoked to be able to hear your testimony and your life-changing experiences and transformation from the days and the grind and the heavy scheduling of the pro wrestling lifestyle and to having a life-changing event of becoming a born-again Christian and now living for Christ and sharing your testimony with the world. Like, that's such a great contribution to especially fans, and not only just to fans but just to people to hear the good word. So we're really looking forward to this. So I
appreciate it. I appreciate that. Let me just interject something there with what you said. Two things. One, you said you're not ashamed to say on air, and I'm glad to hear that because we should never ever be ashamed to share the good news. He says that in the Word, in the Bible, don't be ashamed of me, don't be ashamed. And secondly, Lex Luger, him and I have become great friends, and we travel all over. In fact, we were together just last weekend in Fort Wayne, Indiana, doing an autograph segment up there. So we still get out in the wrestling world, and and like to mix it up with our old fans. I think our wrestling fans are, as far as I'm concerned, I think I can speak for him, the best on the planet, the most loyal fans on the planet of any sport on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And so encouraged by what you said and appreciate everything you said as well.
Well, we can't wait to see you. I mean, I want to quote unquote mark out, for it, but there's so much more that goes into it than just being a fan. When you have some credibility like you have, as far as really life-changing events that happen in your life, to where you can turn away from not being about the money and the fame and the fortune, because all that will pass. It will all pass. I mean, it's all fun and games for a while, but there's a time in life where we all have to realize what are we really contributing to the world? Like, what is our life purpose? Why are we put on this earth? And I commend you wholeheartedly for making a transition like this, because it's very encouraging, and it's just an amazing story, and I cannot wait to hear it live this Sunday. So I cannot wait to see you. And it's really funny hearing you in your normal voice, because I'm so used to this whole. I hear the stories how from interviews from other people, like. I mean, you would take your gimmick, and you learned fluent Russian, and you would talk just on your plane rides and just going from tour to tour. You were stuck in your gimmick, and a lot of your colleagues and coworkers were like, "Hey, just drop it, Nikita. It's cool. It's just us. You can drop the gimmick, But it's very humbling to actually hear you in your real voice today."
Well, I appreciate it. Now I have to one correction. I wouldn't say I learned fluent Russian,
okay.
But I learned enough. I signed my name. I legally changed my name. I learned enough Russian phrases so that anyone I came across would go, "Wow, this dude really is from Russia." Chad. I just felt, and I wasn't asked to do that. I just felt to get the character over. That
Sure.
was just something I needed to do. Took it upon myself to do. So yeah, almost 12 years I stayed in character anywhere in public, and come to know now, I didn't know it then, but I guess they call it method acting, where you really project yourself into that role.
Right.
And that's what I did, and I feel like that's what really led to the success of the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff, and so here we are. 23 years later. Still out signing autographs, meeting fans, but also the opportunity, like I said, to share the good news.
That's awesome, and I could be wrong, but I don't know the origin. But was it Dusty Rhodes? What was it? Was your name, the nickname? Was that a parody from the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, like from the Russian Nightmare? Was there a similarity between the two?
Yeah, I mean, when I was first developing the character. Of course, my uncle Ivan.
Yes,
Koloff,
yes.
The Russian bear. So we had the Russian bear, and then I did an angle with Dusty, an arm wrestling deal with him,
Right.
And so that's just kind of, I think, where the Russian Nightmare, because it was like the American Dream, and I was like, I'm going to be your worst nightmare,
Mm-hmm.
and from that, I think we spun into the Russian Nightmare coming out of that.
Beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful label and title, especially, everything that was going on in the 80s. And then, you're one of the most notorious heels in the 80s. But then you had a face turn. And then I saw, I think, in 1987, you were Pro Wrestling Illustrated most influential wrestler of the year. And I find that, I was like, I think that's just telling to how you can adapt from being a heel to, transitioning to a face character, and still having that kind of influence on the business and to your colleagues and to the world of professional wrestling, where you get billed as like the most influential wrestler of 87. Like I think that's awesome, how you can just have the dynamic of both good guy and bad guy and still have the respect from, the community of pro wrestling to get that label. So props to you. I mean, that's amazing. That is really, really cool.
Well, yeah, I feel very fortunate. People ask me, which did you like better, being the bad guy, good guy. And honestly, I look back on my career, feel very fortunate, blessed to have had it, and that I had the opportunity to be on both sides of the track, you might say. And you're right, to go from, because there was a time when I was literally, by the fan poll, voted number one most hated guy in wrestling. Go from being the number one most hated to being most inspirational
Yeah.
is certainly quite an honor, to say the least, Chad. And so, just like I said, just grateful that I had the experience on both sides.
That's awesome. And also, just real quick, how I've got to ask, when you retired in '93, it was '93, correct? When you actually...
Yeah, officially my last match was November 1992 against Big Van Vader,
Yeah.
but stayed a couple injuries in that match, a hernia and an injured neck. Was not career ending for the record, even though some played off on that. I walked away under my own terms, and it was the end of '92, early 1993 when I made a decision to hang up the boots.
What a better way to go out, though. I mean, honestly, with no strings attached, your health is intact, and you're also doing it for the betterment of your personal life, and I'm sure as your family as well, and feeding your spiritual man as well. I find that's very courageous, because we do get caught up in the hustle and bustle of every day, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to I feel like our relationships with people, and of course our spiritual nature, and how to extend the kingdom. There's lots of things that go into it, and I just really commend you for I wouldn't say put it all away, but for following your heart and being led by Christ to be able to spread the good word and to continue carrying on your message and your testimony with the world, and you're still doing it to this day. Like, that's I respect that so much, sir.
Well, the interesting part, Chad, is when I walked away from wrestling, I was not a Christ follower. I didn't grow up in the church. People will hear more at Launch Point on Sunday. I really encourage all the listeners, come on out, 2 services, a tailgate party afterwards. Are you kidding me? Tons and tons and tons of food, lots of sweets and treats. But they'll get a chance to hear more of the stories. I'll have some things, some books with me, some pictures to autograph, etc. But let me just say this: that to come out of wrestling, walk away, as I said, on my own terms, pondering the future, reflecting on the past. It was about 11 months later that I surrendered my life to Christ after I left wrestling. And so just really illustrating that God has a plan for all of our lives, even if we don't know what it is. And one other note, side note too, you mentioned walking away from the wrestling career, the fame, the fortune that typically comes with that many times. A number of us, whether it's Lex Luger, I'll see my dear friend Sting in a few weeks and spend a weekend with him and at his home. And he's a solid, rock solid Christ follower. And Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and others have all realized. Here's the deal for the listeners: they've all realized no matter how much fame you get, no matter how much fortune you might acquire, no matter how many baubles and trinkets you might get, all of it adds up to nothing at the end of the day without Jesus Christ, because those are just temporary things that fill a void for a moment. But the only thing that ultimately fills that empty place in your heart is a relationship with Jesus. That's right.
I mean, I'm just incredibly honored to have you here today. Again, Shoals area this Sunday, October 30th, NWA Hall of Famer, the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff, will be speaking at 2 services at Launch Point Church in Tuscumbia. Again, that's at Launch Point Church in Tuscumbia. The first session is at 9 a.m., followed by another session at 10:30 a.m., and they are going to be billing this Sunday as Mega Day. And as soon as Nikita gets done speaking, there will be tailgating, like you said, in the parking lot after the 10:30 session. And be sure to wear your favorite team apparel this Sunday, because this is going to be a tailgate party and chance to listen to the life-changing story and testimony of none other than the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff. So you do not want to miss this Sunday, October 30th, at Launch Point Church in Tuscumbia. So, Nikita, thank you so much for taking your time today to call us and for us to be able to talk to you. And I cannot wait to meet you this Sunday. Thank you so much, sir.
Hey, thank you. I'm looking forward to meeting both those who were wrestling fans and those who weren't wrestling fans. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody in the community coming back to the great state of Alabama. It's always a blessing and joy to come to the great state of Alabama. And thank you, Chad, for having me on the show. It's been an honor.
Thank you, Mr. Nikita. Have a great day, sir.
All right. God bless you and everybody. Bye-bye.
You too, sir. Bye-bye.